Commander Elias Kane had seen many strange things in his life. He had explored planets on the edges of human space, fought mercenaries, and survived ambushes that would have killed most people, but nothing had prepared him for the sight he saw on the colony planet of Relora 9 that day. The air shimmered with the heat of the twin suns, and dust swirled around the derelict buildings of the mining town. The streets, usually quiet, were suddenly filled with the sounds of alarms, shouts, and the roar of engines. Elias's convoy had been moving cautiously through the rough terrain, transporting rare energy crystals that were highly sought after across the galaxy. He had expected trouble, but nothing on the scale of what was unfolding. Alien mercenaries, tall and armored in black, had surrounded the convoy with mechanical precision. Their weapons glowed with deadly energy, and their leader, a creature with deep crimson eyes and jagged armor, barked orders in a language Elias barely recognized. Amid the chaos, his attention was drawn to a figure that seemed almost calm in the storm. A young woman, her hair a deep shade of violet, was being dragged along by two smaller mercenaries. She did not struggle violently, but her movements were precise, almost measured. What caught Elias's eye, however, was the intricate tattoo on her forearm. It was strange, glowing faintly with a blue light that seemed almost alive, tracing lines and symbols that Elias could not understand. There was something powerful about it, something important. Without thinking, Elias shouted, "Stop! I'll take the girl." The mercenaries froze. His voice was sharp, commanding, and filled with a boldness that aliens rarely expected from humans. They paused, confused, because humans were known for unpredictability. No one had ever openly challenged them like this. The girl's eyes met his for a brief moment, and in that glance Elias felt an unspoken understanding. She trusted him, or at least she hoped she could. Elias didn't wait. He drew his energy blaster and fired at the approaching aliens, not with careful aim but with a daring improvisation. He rolled behind the wreck of a transport vehicle, kicked up dust to blind their sensors, and used the environment to his advantage. The aliens were strong and their weapons were advanced, but they were not as clever as humans in situations that demanded quick thinking. Elias's every move was a mix of risk and ingenuity. The girl, Lyra, watched silently at first. Then she stepped lightly to the side, activating her tattoo. It glowed brighter, casting patterns on the walls around them. Elias realized the glow was more than just light. It seemed to interact with the environment, unlocking something hidden. One of the alien weapons suddenly short-circuited near her, causing sparks to fly. The aliens growled in frustration. "Move!" Elias yelled. "Follow me!" Lyra didn't hesitate. Together, they ran through narrow alleys, ducking behind debris, using every trick to evade capture. Elias was impressed by her calmness. Most people would have panicked, but she moved with purpose. And that tattoo of hers, whatever it was, had just saved both of their lives. They reached a small shuttle hidden behind one of the abandoned buildings. Elias forced the doors open and they jumped inside. As he powered it up, the aliens closed in. The engines roared and the shuttle lifted off, weaving through the dust storms that raged over the colony. He glanced at Lyra. "You okay?" he asked. She nodded, still focused on the glowing symbols on her arm. I think they were after me," she said quietly. "But not for what you think." Elias raised an eyebrow. "Not for ransom?" Lyra shook her head. "Something bigger, something dangerous." Elias didn't press her further. He had learned long ago that patience was often more valuable than force. He piloted the shuttle skillfully, dodging patrols and scanning for safe routes. His mind raced with questions about the tattoo. Why was it glowing? Why did it seem to interfere with the alien technology? He had seen humans carry advanced devices before, but this was different. It was almost alive. As night fell over Relora 9, Elias and Lyra found temporary refuge in an abandoned space station on the outskirts of the planet. The station was old, barely holding itself together, but it provided shelter. Dust settled on the floors, and the silence was broken only by the occasional creak of metal and the soft hum of the shuttle's cooling systems. Lyra touched her tattoo again, and this time the glow spread across her arm like flowing water. Elias watched in awe. He had seen many human technologies and many alien devices, but nothing moved or reacted like this. "It's not just a tattoo, is it?" he said cautiously. Lyra shook her head. "No, it's a map, a key, something left behind by humans long ago in alliance with some alien civilizations. It's a way to protect our people. Elias's mind raced. Humans had always been clever, but this was beyond clever. This was genius. He realized why the aliens were so interested. Whatever secrets Lyra carried, it could change the balance of power in this sector of the galaxy. And she had been brave enough to keep it hidden until now. Then we have to keep moving, Elias said. They'll come after us again. And next time they won't hesitate. Lyra nodded, but her eyes showed no fear. Elias admired that. Humans often survived not because of strength alone, but because of their courage, their ability to act when others froze, and their willingness to protect each other. And here, in the middle of a hostile world, he saw it reflected in both himself and this young woman. They spent the night preparing for the journey ahead. Elias checked weapons, scavenged parts from the old station, and planned routes. Lyra studied the tattoo, her fingers tracing the glowing lines, trying to understand more of its hidden potential. Outside, the twin moons rose over the horizon, casting silver light over the dusty landscape. Somewhere out there, the mercenaries were regrouping. Somewhere out there, danger waited. But Elias felt something new stirring inside him, a sense of hope. Not just hope for survival, but hope in humans themselves. He had always believed in human strength, in courage and ingenuity. Now he saw it in a young woman with a strange glowing tattoo. And he knew that humans were capable of more than the galaxy could imagine. As they prepared to leave the station at first light, Elias and Lyra made a silent agreement. They would protect each other. They would survive, and they would face whatever came next, not just with weapons, but with their minds, their courage, and their humanity. And somewhere in the shadows, the alien leader watched. His red eyes glinted with curiosity and frustration. He had underestimated humans once, and it would not happen again. But Elias and Lyra were already moving. Together they vanished into the night, a human spark against the darkness of the galaxy. And the tattoo, mysterious, glowing alive, was the key that would guide them through the dangers ahead. The key that had saved Elias's life, and perhaps the key to something far greater. The shuttle glided silently through the darkness of space, its engines humming softly as Commander Elias Kane and Lyra navigated away from Relora 9. The alien mercenaries would not give up easily, and Elias knew that every moment of delay increased their risk. Yet there was something almost calming about the stars outside the viewport, a reminder of the vastness of the galaxy and the human ability to survive within it. Lyra sat quietly, her glowing tattoo tracing delicate patterns across her arm. She had not spoken much since the escape, but Elias could sense the weight of responsibility she carried. That tattoo was not just a mark. It was a living map, a piece of a puzzle that could unlock something powerful, something the aliens wanted to control. Do you understand what it does? Elias asked, finally breaking the silence. Lyra shook her head slowly. Not completely. My parents told me it was a human legacy, left from the time humans worked with other civilizations to protect knowledge and technology, but I never knew how to use it. I only knew it was important. Elias nodded. Humans were clever in ways aliens could not always predict. Even the smallest human innovations often change the outcome of wars and conflicts. He had learned to trust human instinct, resourcefulness, and courage, and now he saw it reflected in Lyra. Their shuttle approached a remote asteroid base, an abandoned installation once used for mining rare minerals. It was isolated, defensible and perfect for hiding from the mercenaries. Elias landed carefully, the engines kicking up clouds of rock dust that sparkled in the faint light of a distant star. The base was silent, a skeleton of its former self with broken corridors, empty control rooms, and rusting machinery. As they moved inside, Lyra activated her tattoo again. The blue glow illuminated the walls, revealing hidden control panels and dormant systems. Elias watched in amazement. This was more than a map. It was a key to technology the aliens might have thought lost forever. They left instructions in the stars, Lyra said softly, almost to herself. It's as if the past humans knew we would need this one day. Elias smiled faintly. Humans always had a way of preparing for the unknown, and this was proof. But there was no time to linger. Sensors outside flickered, small signals that meant someone was approaching. The mercenaries had not stopped hunting them. Get ready, Elias whispered. They'll be here soon. When the alien forces arrived, they were more numerous this time. Hovering ships and ground patrols surrounded the asteroid, scanning for any sign of life. Elias felt the familiar rush of adrenaline, but this time it was tempered by confidence. He and Lyra were not helpless. Humans had a way of turning desperate situations into victories through intelligence and creativity. Lyra touched her tattoo, and suddenly a series of symbols lit up along the walls. They formed a pattern that connected with the base's old defense systems. Lights flickered on, sensors hummed, and automated turrets powered up. Elias's eyes widened. "You're telling me that thing can control their weapons?" Lyra nodded. "I think it can guide energy, redirect power, and even block signals. It's a very advanced system, but I have to stay focused." The first wave of aliens breached the outer gates. Elias and Lyra moved quickly, using the shadows and corridors to their advantage. The turrets, controlled by the tattoo, targeted the alien weapons precisely, disabling them without destroying the invaders completely. It was a delicate balance, enough to defend themselves, but not enough to reveal all their secrets. Elias fought alongside Lyra, covering her while she manipulated the tattoo. He marveled at the way her calm focus could turn the tide of battle. Each alien strike was countered, each ambush anticipated. They were outnumbered, yet human ingenuity and courage gave them the edge. Every move was precise, calculated, and daring. Hours passed like minutes, and the aliens began to retreat, frustrated by the unexpected resistance. Elias knew this would not be the end. The mercenaries would return, stronger, better prepared. But for now, they had survived. And more importantly, they had learned something vital. Humans were not predictable. Humans could think beyond brute strength, turning even ancient technology into a weapon of survival. After the battle, Elias and Lyra explored the base further. The systems activated by the tattoo revealed hidden chambers, energy caches, and storage of knowledge that had been lost to time. Each discovery was more incredible than the last. Lyra traced her tattoo along the panels, unlocking archives and maps that could guide humanity to new technologies, new defenses, and new alliances. "They wanted this," Elias said quietly, looking at the glowing symbols. "Not just to capture you, but to control what humans created long ago. If they had it, they could dominate everything in this sector." Lyra nodded. "And now, we have a chance to protect it." Days passed as they repaired the shuttle, gathered supplies, and prepared for the next phase. Elias taught Lyra how to use the environment in battle, how to set traps, and how to think creatively under pressure. Lyra's confidence grew, and with it the tattoo's glow became brighter, more responsive. The humans were becoming a force to be reckoned with. Then, one quiet night, Elias looked at the stars and thought about the future. "You know," he said, "humans have always been underestimated. That's why we survive. That's why we adapt. And that's why we fight back when others think we can't." Lyra smiled faintly. "I think I'm beginning to understand. It's not just the tattoo. It's what humans do with it. Your choices, your courage. It's what makes the difference." As if to test them, the alien leader returned with reinforcements. This time, they attacked from multiple directions. A coordinated assault meant to overwhelm human ingenuity. Elias and Lyra moved swiftly, using the asteroid's terrain and the base's systems to their advantage. The tattoo's glow expanded, illuminating paths, blocking communications, and even turning some of the alien machines against their own forces. The battle reached its climax in the main control chamber. Elias faced the alien leader directly, drawing on every lesson he had learned about human tactics. Lyra focused all her energy on the tattoo, and together they synchronized the base's defense systems with human strategy. It was not brute force that won the day. It was creativity, courage, and the unexpected combination of human ingenuity and ancient technology. Finally, the aliens retreated, their ships leaving trails of smoke and sparks as they fled. The asteroid base was quiet again, the stars outside calm and indifferent. Elias and Lyra stood together, exhausted but triumphant. They had survived, not just because of strength, but because humans never gave up, never stopped thinking, and never lost their courage. Lyra looked at her tattoo one last time. "It's more than a map," she said softly. "It's a message, a reminder that humans can protect what matters, that we can survive even when it seems impossible." Elias nodded. "And we'll keep surviving, together. We'll explore, protect, and fight for what's right." Humans have a way of turning even the darkest situations into hope. The stars stretched endlessly before them, and for the first time in a long while, Elias felt a sense of peace. The galaxy was dangerous, full of threats and full of unknowns. But humans had something no one else had: ingenuity, courage, and the ability to rise when others fall. And now, with Lyra and her strange, powerful tattoo, they had a chance to shape the future. They prepared the shuttle for departure, ready to carry the secrets of the tattoo to human allies and safe colonies. The galaxy was vast, and their journey was only beginning. But Elias knew one thing with certainty: humans were never helpless. And when a human decided to protect another, to fight for what is right, nothing, not even the most advanced alien force, could stop them. And somewhere, far in the darkness, the alien leader watched, realizing that humans were far more dangerous than he had ever imagined. The unpredictability, the courage, and the unity of humans were not weaknesses to exploit. They were strengths that could change the fate of entire worlds. As the shuttle lifted off, Lyra's tattoo glowed brighter than ever, guiding them through the stars. Elias glanced at her and smiled faintly. "You saved my life," he said quietly. Lyra shook her head. "No," she replied. "We saved each other. That's what humans do." And with that, they vanished into the endless night, two humans carrying a spark of hope, courage, and brilliance that would shine across the galaxy, a reminder that humanity could never be underestimated.